So this is part 2 of telling the time using an analog clock. This is the analog clock that I showed you earlier. It's a bit different to the digital clocks that we use on our phones. First up, we'll start with a little reminder of working time out for past the hour. Now, like I said earlier, these little dots just here, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those little dots, or those little dashes on your clock, are 1 minute. And every time that you go all the way around the clock, that's 1 hour, which is the same as 60 minutes. So there are basically 60 minutes in 1 hour. All of these jumps here are 5-minute jumps. So this is where your 5 times table comes into play. We should know our 5 times table. So we've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, half past, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. 60 minutes, 1 hour. Nice and easy. So we'll do a couple of practice questions. So here we've got our little hand, which is the hour, and it's pointing at the 2. We've got the minute hand, which is pointing at the 12. So this time here is 2 o'clock, because that shows o'clock. Now you can see this time that the time has gone on a little bit later. The hour hand is still just past the 2. It's not on the 3 yet, so it is 2 something. Then we've got our minute hand, so we've got 5, 10, 15, 20. So it's 20 minutes past 2. So this time it's a little later again. We've got our hour hand. It's gone past the 3. It's not quite on the 4 yet. So it's 3 something. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So it's 3:30, which is the same as half past, half of the clock, half past 3. Now this is the part where sometimes people get a little bit stuck. There's no need to get confused though. And actually, when you've got this, you'll be able to tell the time using this clock every single time. So, I've said time a lot. So, here's the hour hand. The hour hand is past the 3, but it's not quite on the 4. So, it's 3 something. So we've got 3, and there's our minute hand just there. Now you'll notice it's gone past the halfway point on the clock. So it's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. So it's 3:35. Now I've just written this down on the whiteboard for you as well, so you can see that the hour is 3 and the minute is 35. You could write that and you'd be absolutely correct. However, what we say is anywhere on this side of the clock, up until halfway, so anywhere on this side of the clock, we say past. So that would be 5 past, 10 past, quarter past, 20 past, 25 past, half past. And this is where it changes. We don't tend to say 35 minutes past. Like I said, you'd be correct, but we start looking from the halfway point over this side, we start looking towards the next hour. So you can see here that it's almost 4. It's not quite 4, but it's almost 4. It's on its way. So instead of 35 minutes past 3, we could also say it's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. It's 25 minutes to 4. Okay, so this one here is, the hour hand is here, so it's past 4. It's not quite on the 5. If I hold that a bit closer, you can see that it's not quite on the 5 yet. It's on its way, it's on the journey, but it's not quite there. So it's 4 something. 4, and there's the minute hand. So we got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So you'd be right in saying that it's 40 minutes past 4. However, from here onwards, we use 2, don't we? We go to the next hour. You'd be right in writing 4:40, but from here onwards, we tend to opt for 2. So now we're going from our minute to the o'clock. And our next hour is the 5, isn't it? So we've got 5, 10, 15, 20. So it's 20 minutes to 5. Now, I'll be honest, telling the time does take a bit of practice. And it does actually take time. So, pun intended, I did make that joke. I do apologize. It does take a little bit of practice. Just try and make it fun. It's one of those skills you simply have to know, really. Lots of different ways you can practice by telling the time. So what you could do is you could turn it into a bit of a game. You could ask somebody to ask you questions throughout the day, just to fire questions at you. Perhaps you're trying to win something. So if you have a little look at this, this is my time questions to try and win a cookie. So you've got a ladder of 1 space, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you answer 5 questions, 5 random questions throughout the day, where your parent or whoever's looking after you just goes, "What's the time now?" If you get it correct, perhaps you get a tick. If you get the next one correct and they say, "What's the time?" and you go, "Oh, 1:30," and you get it correct, perhaps you get another tick. But maybe if you get a question wrong, perhaps you've got to rub one out or cross one out and go back to the start. Then if you get all of your 5 ticks through the day, perhaps you get to win a cookie. It could be anything though. Perhaps you get to win, well, absolutely anything. Perhaps you get to win time on your PlayStation, or I don't know, your favourite chocolate bars. Completely down to you guys, basically. But if you've got any ideas as well, let me know, and I look forward to hearing them. But good luck with the time, and any questions, just let me know.